I think a young man growing up in the city of Milwaukee today is probably facing many more challenges than what I grew up with in Menomonee Falls, Wisconsin. It's difficult to actually say what they're experiencing because I don't live there. Our young men are just like you and I. You know, they wake up every day and they wonder, do I matter? Do I have what it takes? Does anybody see me in my struggle?
KJ, some people call me Kenny, doesn't matter. My school, Kingdom Prep, allows me twice a week to head the WeatherTight for my apprenticeship. So I work there two times a week. Other days I'm in school. If I'm going to WeatherTight, I usually wake up about 5 a.m. and I'm out the door by 5:30. I'm out the door. And if it's school, I wake up at 6 and I'm out the door by 6:30. Yeah, it takes a really long time. About an hour and a half, 3 buses. School is 2 buses. I'm very organized, I would say, and I just hate being behind schedule. I just like being early. Certain days I miss for my apprenticeship, so it's like whenever I'm in class, I try my hardest, you know.
At Kingdom Prep, we get to create a venue where the brothers come from all different neighborhoods, mostly the zip codes of Milwaukee, and they get to come and have a super safe place where they get to talk about Jesus and just grow brotherhood. From what I understand, the city of Milwaukee is constantly working at building a more peaceful environment. And let's be honest, I mean, you turn on the news and it seems like there's just one more unfortunate situation happening in the city of Milwaukee, and we just want to be a place where young men can practice being brothers and practice being strong.
Wasn't always easy for us. I wouldn't say we were like starving or anything, but we did struggle with certain things around the house, low income houses, so. But like now, we're all doing good.
Okay.
My mom always taught me like, if you're in a hole, you can always get out of it. Definitely a super mom. My whole life, I've always watched her work and have an amazing work ethic. So does my dad. I see him and my grandfather work extremely hard. Kingdom Prep requires internships for juniors and seniors to prepare them for the real world. I completed my internship, so I decided to move into an apprenticeship. And with my apprenticeship, I can keep furthering my career. So I decided to go to WeatherTight.
So Fridays when Kenny comes in, we get to spend a lot of time just one-on-one where I can kind of talk to him and just figure out what's going on in the mind of a 17-year-old nowadays. We interviewed quite a few kids and Kenny just stood out with how he could conversate kind of like an adult already, and it was that personality that got him more into us hiring him. It was like, wow, this kid seems 18 or 19, not 17 or 16, and it was nice because a lot of the other kids just head down, wouldn't engage with us or talk to us, and it was and then we found out that he had some prior experience with Kingdom workers.
So one of our primary programs is called Build Up, where we're working with youth within urban settings.
But I'm going to teach you how to do mudding with this, because that pail's not going to turn into a rock.
And we're teaching them construction skills and injecting gospel throughout the process.
Trying to live your life as close to Jesus as possible.
So it's just a real nice opportunity to spend a lot of time with them, teaching them the skills. And it's a huge platform to be able to talk Jesus all day long.
Jesus paid that price, and that results in forgiveness for our sins from God.
Every morning we start out with a devotion. Sometimes I just ask simple questions about what does it mean to be a Christian? If you're not a Christian, why aren't you a Christian? Or what are the hurdles to become a Christian? I'll ask some of those questions, and we'll open up a dialogue and a dialect and learn from each other and maybe help bring down some of those hurdles on becoming a Christian.
So what do you guys think about this reading?
He's actually engaged in a lot more conversation about what it means to be a Christian. During that particular conversation, we were helping a Hindu lady And I've actually watched her become more engaged and challenge some of the boys about their Christianity. When we've had the kinds of conversations, she's asked them, what's it really mean to be a Christian? What are the challenges of being a Christian? So I can see her curiosity perking up also. We go out into the community and we find someone who is in need or has some kind of something that they want us to fix within their property. We introduce the kids to that kind of situation where it's a servantry situation, and then we develop a plan to help that person, and we develop a plan to teach the kids the skills that would be applicable to helping in that situation. Most recently, we finished a garage that we helped build for a widow that was in need of a new garage. Her garage was falling over. We finished the demolition on it.
Laid concrete out, foundation work, built the entire garage, and her face was just priceless.
It's surreal. I drive up and I still look at it and I'm amazed by it. It's something that I just stare at. I honestly do. I pull in a driveway and I stare at it and I look at all the details, and it just is amazing to know all the hands that came together.
From destroying everything and having nothing to like it being a whole new garage is just crazy to me. Like, I didn't think it was possible.
Kingdom Workers came in at the perfect moment.
Some of the people we do know and express a need. Some people know somebody that has a need.
When we purchased the property, it was a complete fix-up. My husband built the house and just never got a chance to finish it, and then he passed away. And I have a mutual friend, excuse me. So he had his own property business. He worked with stuff like this all the time. He would know the little pieces of paper that you need to fill out for different things, who to go to, what to say, what to do. I knew nothing because that's not my area, that was his. So thinking about all that and looking at it all, it just seemed so much and too much for me to do. So I have a mutual friend with Kevin. That's how it all began. Along the way, I have had people put their name or a verse, their favorite verse, or whatever that they want. There's some that I didn't know personally. I'm still getting into my faith and everything, and learning more. And I love to see that I can learn more about it through what they put on there. Just staring at it, it's so surreal that I can feel my heart just so full of warmth for everything that was done.
So Saturday we did a project. I named it Concrete Chaos. When you pour concrete, there's a lot of chaos that happens within about an hour and a half period of time, and there's a lot of activity. I don't think a lot of people have the opportunity, I should say, to pour concrete.
Ahead of them just a little bit.
We had 4 kids there and a lot of volunteers from different neighborhoods. We had some coming from 100 miles away and some from 60 miles away. Students are learning all about the tools we're using. So a lot of them have never been exposed to tape measures, carpenter's squares, talk about impact drills. We ask them before they start working what they know, and a lot of them are too embarrassed to say they don't know anything, but they don't know anything.
I think I've grown a lot and learned a lot within the past 2 years. I've learned like a lot about siding. I feel like I'm pretty fluent with that. I'm pretty efficient.
My hope isn't necessarily that they enter in the construction field. It's that they find out what they do like, what they don't like. They're exposed to different skills.
Mentally and like as a person, I feel like I've been growing because like becoming stronger, like working these jobs, like it is tough on you, but like, you gotta get the job done. So it's like teaching you to have like a better work ethic.
So we talk about planning a lot. We talk about organization. We talk about cleaning up after yourself. sense of responsibility that if you're going to take a shortcut or not do things correctly, the impact that may have on the whole scale of the project. Simple skills like patience. Sometimes things don't go the way you have them planned, and there's no sense in getting upset about it, so we talk about how patience plays a role in construction. And there's so many correlations with construction that correlate right directly to life, and those soft skills on how are you going to handle problems in life and how you're going to handle problems on the construction site are very similar. It also provides a platform on how to mature as a person and an adult, and how to take some of the morals and values and ethics that are involved in being a Christian and be able to plug them into your life.
A lot of guys are crabby waking up in the morning. Jeffy's very patient, even though he jokes about being impatient. Jeff did teach me a lot. As far as like waking up earlier to get to a job, you gotta just, have better time management when you do things, and you gotta be willing to work. I was taking advice on things of what to do and what not to do. He's had his own electrical company. He built power lines for, I believe, 30 years. So he knows the ins and outs of the trades. I would say Jeff's probably my biggest role model.
And I've watched the kids, just from a maturity standpoint, handle things differently on the job site, whereas at the beginning they might have become more frustrated, but as their skill set grows and their ability to handle some of the projects that come up on the job site without feeling stupid has gotten a lot better.
They were mentors, they were friends, they were teachers. They blended everything together. It was beautiful to see. You could tell Jesus was here.
I absolutely love the Build Up program. In fact, I don't know that I know of another program that is making as much of an impact.
Build Up began because of a need that was identified for building skill set within urban youth, and a need identified within the construction marketplace where there's a huge need for more labor, more workers, and a huge opportunity to make a very fine living.
We have a real problem in the United States, and I don't think it's really a secret to anybody. We know that in the trades industry, whether you're a carpenter, a welder, a plumber, an electrician, that for every 7 retirees that are getting out of our industry today, there's only 2 new people replacing them. So we have a shortfall every single day, every single week, every single month of the year, where we are losing more and more talent in the trades industry.
Everybody wants to write code or make a computer program, and a lot of times they don't last. They're in here for a month and it's too much strenuous labor, or they're just not comfortable doing ladders and saws and things like that, so they end up just leaving us, with no warning or anything like that. So yeah, it's tough to find good help nowadays.
Not a lot of people just say, hey, I want to be a builder or a framer. There's actually usually a fire lit underneath them where they said, hey, I've tried this, I've done this, and it's something that's fun. You see something built, it's constructive, and it's an opportunity to start that fire within the kids, to expose them to something new and different.
And that's where something like Kingdom Workers and their Build Up program is helping us, because they're generating the interest from young men and women that are able to come into our industry and then stick with companies like WeatherTight for career opportunities.
It was very exciting though, because in the beginning, I didn't think they would hire me.
Kenny showed an interest in working with WeatherTight because working with the Build Up program, he really loved working with the tools, working with his hands, seeing accomplishments at the end of the day, and that was a great catalyst for him in getting a job with WeatherTight because he had 1 summer's worth of experience already.
I think he's doing fantastic. Kenny's a great kid. He has a fantastic personality. He's here before most of my guys show up, which is really nice because usually you got to call people and things like that, and Kenny's he's on top of it. I think he's really ready to become an adult and go out and work.
He's excited to learn, wants to learn, asks a lot of questions. He's enthusiastic, very respectful individual. He's just everything that we could dream of with an apprentice. So a lot of his training as a young man is really based on safety training and then intro into the carpentry skills, so that after another year or two, we'd like to see Kenny grow and develop into a leader at WeatherTight, where he can be assigned his own truck and his own crew.
My only son that I have, KJ, is very caring, passionate about life. He actually spoils his mom and his sisters, big time. He'll help anybody and everybody. Doesn't matter who it is. He loves working with his hands all the time. He's forever trying to fix something around the house. It's so much now, I don't even call on my landlord to fix anything. I always say, hey KJ, can you fix this for me? And he'd be like, sure, all the time.
The confidence that I'm seeing in some of the young men who have actually been with Kingdom Workers is incredible. They are absolutely different. When they go into an internship, they will reference what they're learning with the Kingdom Workers.
I am so thankful and so indebted, and that I miss them dearly, and that I wish the best for everybody.
My goals personally, obviously grow my trade. I want to learn as much as I can.
I'm just blessed because he's not other kids that's in the community doing all the wrong things.
Plan on owning like my own home, obviously. Probably travel a lot. I'm big into rock climbing too, so like I have other hobbies.
And I just want him to be successful where he can just stand on his own 2 feet and never have to worry about the struggle like his mom did when she was that teenage mom, right? That's what I want for KJ. And I definitely see that happening.
I'm getting a car pretty soon. I've been saving for it, so hopefully around my birthday, I can have one. So just saving like my apprenticeship checks.
There's gonna be hardship and stuff like that, but then that's when your faith comes into place too, as well, you know, leaning on God and for that understanding.
I know I'm mostly gonna use it for work, so hopefully a work truck. I have my own, so I'm able to, you know, be able to be on the work site and be able to be independent.
I want KJ to succeed education-wise. I want KJ to experience life. I want KJ to be one of the kids to be able to travel, to experience the world, wherever that might be for him.
Everyone makes jokes about how like successful I'm gonna be, which I think is a good thing. I don't really think I stand out that much. I just think I'm just working towards my goals. Learn as much as I can. Of course, be able to have like some sort of stability for myself and family.
We live in an area that's a lot of crime. We deal with a lot of youth that don't have a lot to believe in. And that's what's great about these programs is that KJ is in, because they give him somebody to believe in him, to let him know that he can, you know, succeed, or he can make it.
I can't get over how Kingdom Workers, it's going to thrive and survive because there are people who love Jesus and they love working with students. There's no magic secret sauce to the Kingdom Workers, Kingdom Prep build-up events. It's straight up men and women who love Jesus, men and women who take the time to love kids, and just letting Jesus do his thing.
The world is headed in a tough direction, and I think we are going to find out what it really means to wear Christ's blood on your sleeve. But look at your strengths and look at where those can be plugged into the kingdom and be able to share the gospel.
And I would like the cycle to keep going. So then I believe that my son one day will plant that seed into someone else, and then that kid can plant that seed into the next youth and the next youth. The ultimate goal, they lead them where? Back to God, because these are God's children, right? So at the end of the day, they leading them back to Christ. And that's what we want. We want to save our kids' souls.
It's your rock, you know. It's what you stand on. Everything has to tie back to your faith and what you believe in. I'll put my faith before everything.